The Anderson family estate's mahogany-paneled study felt suffocating as I sat across from my parents and sister Emma. Dad's financial reports were spread across his antique desk, detailed spreadsheets of every penny they'd wasted on my failed tech experiments. $2 million, Sarah, he said, tapping the bottom line. That's how much we've invested in your projects over the past 3 years. I kept my expression neutral, though my hand tightened slightly around my phone. The Summit Tech app was quietly running in my pocket, processing millions in trades per second through its quantum-enhanced algorithms. And what do we have to show for it? Dad continued. A bunch of computers in the guest house and some fantasy about revolutionizing Wall Street. Emma, fresh from making partner at her law firm, nodded in agreement. Sarah, you need to be realistic. Fintech startups fail every day. Which is why, Mom added gently, we think it's time for a change. Goldman Sachs is still holding that analyst position. Actually, I started, but Dad cut me off. No more excuses, he declared. No more delays. And most importantly, no more financial support. My phone vibrated. Lisa, my CTO, NYSE prep complete. Market makers confirm record pre-opening volume. Are you even listening? Dad demanded. This ends now. The cards, the accounts, everything. I checked my watch, 9:15 a.m. Perfect timing. You know what? You're right, I said, standing up. I don't need your money anymore. Finally. Emma exclaimed. I'll help you update your resume. Goldman looks great on. Turn on CNBC, I interrupted. What? Why would we? Just do it. Dad sighed but reached for the remote. The massive TV that dominated one wall flickered to life, showing the New York Stock Exchange floor. Historic day as Summit Technologies prepares for its initial public offering, the announcer was saying. Early indications suggest this could be the largest tech IPO of the year. The camera panned to the famous balcony above the trading floor. My parents leaned forward, confusion crossing their faces as they recognized the figure standing by the opening bell. Me. Summit's revolutionary quantum trading platform, the announcer continued, has already processed over $2 trillion in transactions during its private beta. CEO Sarah Anderson will ring the opening bell. Dad's financial reports slipped from his fingers. Emma's designer coffee cup clattered against its saucer. That's you. Mom whispered. On screen, I stood in the same black hoodie I wore now, surrounded by Summit's executive team. The countdown began. But you live in our guest house, Emma sputtered. You borrow money for groceries. Borrowed, I corrected her. Past tense. The bell rang. The trading floor erupted. Summit Tech stock symbol SMTP flashed across every screen as trading began. Summit Technologies opens at $187 per share, the announcer called out excitedly. Already trading up 25% from IPO price. Dad fumbled for his phone, probably calling his broker. Emma was frantically Googling Summit Tech, her face growing paler by the second. Initial market cap exceeding $180 billion, the TV continued. Making Summit the most valuable fintech company in history. How? Mom managed. When did you? Remember all those nights I was wasting time in the guest house? I smiled. I was building a quantum-enhanced trading platform that processes market data faster than any system in existence. Those fantasy algorithms? They've been running half of Wall Street's trades for the past year. My phone buzzed again. Lisa, stock hitting $250. Your net worth just passed $90 billion. The $2 million you invested. I continued, watching Dad's face. I paid it back last month. Check your account. He grabbed his laptop, hands shaking slightly as he logged in. His eyes widened at the balance. With 8% interest, I added. I know how you love your returns. Emma was still scrolling through her phone. Summit Tech, quantum computing, pioneering blockchain integration. Oh my God. What? Mom asked anxiously. She's richer than Dad, Emma whispered. Like, hundreds of times richer. On TV, the stock ticker told the story. S&P $275.42 plus 147%. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing now. Journalists, investors, old friends suddenly remembering my existence. And one particular message from Goldman Sachs: board would like to discuss potential strategic partnership. The guest house, Dad said quietly. All this time, in our guest house. You thought I was failing, I replied. Playing with computers, avoiding the real world. Even this morning, you were ready to cut me off. Honey, Mom started, we didn't know. Exactly. You didn't know. Didn't ask. Didn't listen when I tried to explain quantum market analysis or algorithmic trading. The TV was showing Summit's executive team now. Lisa, brilliant and confident. Marcus, our quantum computing genius. Elena, who left Goldman to join us. All believed in the fantasy when my own family wouldn't. Sarah, Emma stood up, lawyer mode engaging. You should let me look at the IPO documents. Make sure everything's. Morrison and Foster handled it. I cut her off. You know, the firm that keeps trying to poach you. She sank back down. My phone buzzed one final time. Lisa again, cars waiting outside. NYSE wants photos with the team. I headed for the door, pausing to look back at my shell-shocked family. The analyst position at Goldman? They offered me a board seat instead. But I turned it down, too busy revolutionizing their entire industry. Wait, Dad called out. Where are you going? To Wall Street, I smiled. You know, that place where failures end up. Through the study's windows, I could see the sleek black Tesla waiting. Behind me, CNBC continued to chronicle Summit's historic IPO. The Tesla glided through Manhattan traffic as messages flooded my phone. The Summit Tech IPO was breaking every record, and Wall Street was in a frenzy. Stock just hit $312, Lisa reported from the seat beside me. Market cap passing $200 billion. Morgan Stanley's systems can barely handle the volume. I smiled, remembering Dad's condescending lecture about how Morgan Stanley was the pinnacle of finance. Now their entire trading infrastructure depended on my quantum algorithms. CNBC wants an exclusive, she continued. Bloomberg too. And, interesting, Goldman Sachs CEO is personally reaching out. The same Goldman that rejected our partnership offer last year. The very same. Apparently, they've had a change of heart now that we're worth more than their entire market cap. My phone buzzed. Emma, Sarah, please. Let me help with the legal side. Dad's devastated. We can fix this. Another from Mom. Honey, we're so proud. The neighbors keep calling. The country club wants to feature you in their newsletter. And finally, Dad, just got off the phone with Bob Harrison at Goldman. Why didn't you tell me? All these years. I turned off the phone. The Tesla pulled up to the NYSE. Outside, reporters swarmed like sharks that had scented blood in the water, the blood of old Wall Street as tech finally ate finance. Ready? Lisa asked. One more thing. I pulled up Summit's trading dashboard on my tablet. Let's show them what quantum computing can really do. With a few taps, I activated our new market-making protocol. Instantly, thousands of trades started executing at quantum speed, demonstrating processing power that made traditional trading look like Morse code in comparison. The NYSE's massive screens lit up with activity. Traders stopped mid-shout, watching in awe as Summit's system handled more volume in seconds than the entire market usually saw in hours. Ms. Anderson, reporters called out as we emerged. How does it feel to disrupt Wall Street? Is it true Summit processes trades through quantum states? Sources say Goldman Sachs tried to acquire Summit last year for $2 billion. Care to comment? Lisa managed the press as we made our way inside. The trading floor parted like the Red Sea, old-school traders in their colored jackets staring at the hoodie-wearing tech CEO who had just made their methods obsolete. Sarah Anderson, a familiar voice called out. I turned to see James Harrison, Dad's best friend's son, who'd snubbed my internship application at Goldman 3 years ago. James, I nodded. How's traditional trading treating you? He shifted uncomfortably in his bespoke suit. Listen, about that internship. I know now we made a mistake. But perhaps we could discuss a strategic partnership? Goldman's resources combined with Summit's technology. Interesting offer, I replied. But Summit processed more trades in the past hour than Goldman handled last quarter. What exactly would you bring to the partnership? His face reddened as nearby traders snickered. My tablet pinged. Summit's stock had just passed $350. The quantum system was performing flawlessly, executing trades at speeds that shouldn't have been possible. Ms. Anderson, the NYSE president approached. Remarkable system you've built. In 40 years on Wall Street, I've never seen anything like it. That's because it's not Wall Street technology, I explained. While everyone here was protecting their old ways, we built the future. My tablet lit up again. Lisa's eyes widened at the notification. What is it? I asked. The Fed just called, she whispered. They want to discuss adopting Summit's quantum system for interbank settlements. Around us, the trading floor had fallen silent, everyone straining to hear. The Federal Reserve wanting to use a private company's technology for bank settlements? Unprecedented. Tell them we're available next week, I replied, loud enough to carry. After we finish integrating with the European exchanges. The ripple of shock was almost visible. Summit wasn't just disrupting American finance, we were going global. James Harrison was still hovering nearby, probably imagining explaining to his father how he'd rejected the future of finance from their internship program. My tablet pinged again. Summit stock, $387.65. My net worth had just crossed $100 billion. Somewhere in his wood-paneled study, Dad was probably staring at the same numbers, realizing his daughter had built something bigger than his entire world. Time for the press conference, Lisa reminded me. As we headed to the media room, I caught a glimpse of myself on one of the giant screens, the hoodie-wearing quantum programmer who had just revolutionized global finance. My phone had somehow acquired service again, displaying one final message from Dad. Bob Harrison just resigned from Goldman. Board wants to discuss you taking over as CEO. Please call. I deleted it without responding. The NYSE media room hummed with anticipation. Every major financial network had cameras rolling as I took the podium, still in my black hoodie, a deliberate contrast to the sea of bespoke suits. Before we begin, I addressed the packed room. I'd like to demonstrate something. With a few taps on my tablet, Summit's quantum interface took over the wall of screens behind me. Real-time trading data flowed in impossible patterns, processed through quantum states that shouldn't have been stable. What you're seeing, I continued, is Summit's quantum core processing every trade on the NYSE, NASDAQ, and major European exchanges simultaneously. Not just tracking, executing. The room erupted with questions. How is this technically possible? Are you saying Summit controls global trading? What about regulatory approval? I held up a hand. As of 9 minutes ago, Summit's quantum network became the primary trading infrastructure for 23 major exchanges. The old systems simply couldn't compete with quantum processing speeds. The doors burst open as James Harrison rushed in, phone pressed to his ear. Goldman's entire trading desk just went dark. Our systems can't. Your systems are obsolete, I cut him off. Like everyone else, Goldman now trades through Summit's quantum network. His face went pale. Behind him, I spotted Emma trying to slip into the room, her corporate lawyer persona somewhat diminished. My tablet pinged. Lisa showed me the screen. Summit's stock had just passed $400. The quantum system was performing even better than our models predicted. Ms. Anderson, a CNBC reporter called out, sources say the Fed is considering Summit's technology for interbank settlements. Can you confirm? Actually, I smiled, I can do better than that. With another tap, new data filled the screens. The room fell silent as people realized what they were seeing. This is Summit's quantum banking protocol, I explained. Currently processing transactions for every major bank in real time. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, they all run on our network now. James Harrison swayed slightly. His entire world had just become dependent on the technology he'd once dismissed as a cute coding project. But that's impossible, someone protested. The regulatory requirements alone were approved 6 months ago, I finished. While everyone was focused on our trading platform, we quietly rebuilt the entire banking infrastructure. Emma was frantically taking notes, probably already imagining the legal implications. My tablet showed another message from Dad. The partners are calling an emergency meeting. Please tell me you'll consider the Goldman CEO position. I deleted it without reading further. One more demonstration, I announced. The screens shifted again, showing a global financial network that pulsed with quantum process data. Every major bank, every stock exchange, every financial institution connected through Summit's technology. Ladies and gentlemen, I declared, welcome to the quantum financial revolution. The room exploded with questions, but I was watching James Harrison slip out, presumably to report back to Goldman's leadership that their entire business now ran on technology built by the intern they'd rejected. My phone buzzed, a message from Mom. Honey, the country club board wants to offer you an honorary membership. Delete. Emma approached the podium as reporters continued shouting questions. Sarah, this is bigger than anyone realized. Let me help. My firm. Your firm, I interrupted, like everyone else in finance, now exists at Summit's pleasure. Our quantum network controls the entire infrastructure. She stepped back, finally understanding the scale of what her unfocused sister had built. Lisa appeared with more updates. Summit's stock was soaring past $450. The EU's financial authority was requesting an emergency meeting. The Bank of England wanted to discuss quantum integration. Time for the next phase, I told her. Are you sure? She asked. This will change everything. Everything already changed, I replied, turning back to the podium. They just didn't notice until it was too late. The screens shifted one final time, revealing Summit's master stroke, a quantum-based global financial system that made traditional banking obsolete. Somewhere in his mahogany study, Dad was watching his world transform. The careful hierarchies of Wall Street, the old networks of power, the very nature of finance, all reinvented by the daughter he tried to force into a junior analyst position. Ms. Anderson, a reporter called out, what happens to traditional financial institutions under Summit's quantum network? I thought about all the James Harrisons of the world, the executives who dismissed a young woman's tech ambitions, the entire system that had tried to force me into its dated mold. They adapt, I answered simply, or they disappear.